time it is still tight. A guard will come check out the building, so I have to wait for him to leave before I can change the sky. Once I do, I reopen the stall and apparently the smell alone is enough for Robert to take notice because he immediately heads outside to eat some of my cooking. After waiting for a while and serving a few other hungry customers some delicious food, Robert finally arrives at the stand with his personal body. If I pointed some of these coconut balls with the amended poison I found earlier, Robert would insist on eating them. For some reason, he doesn't care that I put them in front of him, like the container literally has a picture of a dying rat on it, but I guess he thinks it's my secret ingredient. Considering the flies coming off of me, who could never try it? Either way, he still has a personal body part of it, so what I'm distracted part of the floor, while keeping Robert into the water. Everyone's looking around at the sound of Robert falling, but there's nothing to see except a disgusting, fly-covered floor. I couldn't stare at it. This stare into the abyss of my mind, never to return from its questions. I was getting concerned, so I started to get rid of I had an idea and never, but I went into the bulk of them, but sort of towards them, and in the process of their getting bodies in the water, there's the other way, the one toward this where I could use a flaccid kneecap shot and another briefcase. I used a similar strategy by trespassing in some areas, and when people would get up telling me, they'd spot a body in the water and run down to investigate, only to unfortunately trip and drown it and fall through. But at this point, the game just started to shut down. I looked at the captain who flies saw a huge portion of the main line of this completely scattered, and they couldn't even know their house. Instead, they just stand isolated and waiting for on top of that, two of my fire extinguishers just straight up through. The reason I saved the fire extinguishers so long was since all the guards were dead, nothing Yes. Isolated and either in a trend or with the trend. The only upside is that their glitches are connected entirely. Sometimes some will run across the extreme. I think it's an easy to use a good support. With accidental explosion of the action and Europe without collateral damage, it just seems impossible. Like seriously, I had one of the last idea. You see, there is one way to get into the house, and that's the fireworks show. The player can start and steal this remote. The thing is, this remote is on the table. Two workers looking right at it on the second floor of the party with flowers everywhere. So with no other choices, I guess you.
firework remote in my hands, I started the show. Watched this picture, went outside, all by himself. Every single guard after me was mesmerized by the beautiful show. And while his closer guard was rising behind him, I made it without anyone noticing his car. Since the guards were so mesmerized by the fireworks, I could walk right past them and steal an entire helicopter without being seen. I could have exited a foot while stealing a helicopter completely unnoticed was much more easy. And with that, the first and easiest mission was complete, and it was on to 7 minutes. But before we get to the more difficult maps, a quick word for today's sponsor, Warfighter. Warfighter is the most comprehensive vehicle combat game ever made, and it's free on PC and consoles. Take command of over 2,500 vehicles from 10 major nations, spanning the icons of the 1920s to today's cutting-edge fighter jets and main battle tanks. Immerse yourself in intense combat with realistic graphics, high-definition vehicles, and authentic sound effects. Join the worldwide Warfighter community of over 70 million players for Steam, PlayStation, or Xbox using the link in the description below. And as a limited time special offer, these gamers-ready players that haven't played for at least 6 months on all platforms that you minorly will get a massive bonus pack, including the exclusive vehicle decorator Eagle of Valor, the 100,000 silver lions, and 7 days of premium accounts along with tons of other goods. So what are you waiting for? Download the PC or console today using my link in the description, and thank you again to Warfighter for sponsoring the video. Now, back to the challenge. I was terrified going into Sapienza for one reason, the virus. In this mission, I must kill 2 targets, Sylvia Caruso and Francesca DeSantis. I also have to ensure that virus being contained in an underground laboratory. Stationary targets are my biggest threat in this challenge. Since I can't pull shenanigans like I did in Victor to make them move to a more favorable location. With this in mind, I decided my best choice would be Star and the Ruins. There are a few reasons I started here. The first is it gave me a extremely easy kill on Sylvia. I literally just shoot him with a cannon and everyone gets an accident. The second reason I spawned here is because it's the only spawn location that allows me easy access to the lab. I still with a sniper with the hopes that I can shoot the virus rather than infiltrate his storage chamber, which is easier said than done like 1 foot away. But it gets even better. When I find the target close down here to take a look at the virus, and by standing on a ledge that I access by climbing the pipe, I can just sniper and leap from under the stairs where no one will probably find me, allowing me just to steal up 20 and leave. Thanks to these blind scientists and guards, they turned what should have been one of the toughest levels into a cakewalk. However, my leap quickly took a turn for the worse for marriage. I'm not kidding this time. The strategy I had to offer to make this map work was downright insane. So I'm going to state it as the final boss mission for this video. Instead, let's turn our attention to Bangkok, a mission that honestly wasn't much easier. This mission takes place in a hotel for the wealthy, and I have 2 different targets, a musician named Jordan Cross and a lawyer named Ken Moore. The only viable star would have to spawn in my hotel, which is nice because it allows me to smuggle an additional item for free. However, I didn't know I was butler in this room. I now have the constant scoring fear for the mission, because for reasons I'll get into later, it has to be the last person that I kill. Now, with 25 people dead and finally being out of the spawn field, the insanity of this challenge was starting to set in. I could see dozens of people walking about, all looking in seemingly every direction simultaneously. I hardly had anywhere I could get to once, but I didn't come to the telling. I knew ahead of time just how dense this max population is, and I had a simple strategy. I needed to control more space. While there are extremely dense areas of this map, there are also some extremely empty areas as well. If I circle around the map, but take control of even less activity, I should be able to start chipping away at denser areas from every direction. So that's what I did. I started out by clearing the people roaming around the web, and also getting spotted with the more times for good measures. I used coins. Since by throwing coins, characters will turn and look where they went, and one person will go check it out if it's close by. Lucky for me, this map has a huge supply of coins in the form of these collectible tokens. These are my most powerful tool for separating, and it's what I use to separate and eliminate many of the smaller groups around the mission board before stacking their bodies with friends. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention, to make this challenge just a tad harder, I managed the use of any containers or clips that make bodies completely impossible to find, just to keep me on my toes. During this section of the mission, I also started abusing the way the point works. doors. You see, when you throw a coin, you would expect it to attract nearby people, but the way the sound lure works is really strange. When the coin lands, it creates a bubble effect that only gets stopped by complete walls and doors. As a counter to this, the bubble is actually pretty big, which means if there is a single opening, it will be noticed by an NPC and they'll head over to check it out, no matter how far away it is. This means that you can board people who are completely different stories from you, and they will walk really long distances just to check out the sound of jingling pins. For example, by throwing a coin on this staircase, this guy all the way over here will notice and walk all the way down where I can pop him in the head and lean over to pick it up. This allows me to pick up everyone except for one person on this rooftop without stepping foot up there at once. As for the last guy, he never moves, so I just put him down quietly and let him about my business. And at this point, I was thinking coins would completely break this challenge. I could just toss some coins, wait for people to come over, and take them out. It might take a few hours, but that's no problem. This should be a breeze. But of course, it was not nearly enough to make it because I soon found out that there are multiple spots on the map with super dense groups of characters standing in open areas that I can't get close to, along with other groups of characters in small rooms that are blocked from every direction. So I was forced to continue along with my original strategy of clearing out space to take as much map control as I could. And as it turns out, as much as I could control was very little, and after a full hour and a half had gone by, my control had grown, but in very small amounts. I was able to take control of the first building, the well, 2 rooftops, and some grass. This challenge really did completely change the way the game was played. Unlocking new areas felt incredibly rewarding due to how long it took to clear areas out, but since anyone could talk at any moment, even the fear that I was deceived by a character I never knew existed, and be forced to go back to the last save. It actually reminded me a lot of how I felt, but instead of making a super cool new box in my unlocked area, I just get spotted by some and kill them all without being seen by a single one. This is fun to do, but I was trying to save as many resources as possible in case something happens later in the fun, because this mission isn't done with this huge challenge just yet. There are also a couple of very difficult areas, such as the story. But rather than it being like an interesting puzzle to resolve, a lot of it was just waiting for a very long time for people to walk to Coinbase like it was before. So we're going to skip past that and get to the hardest section of this mission, the outdoor party games. But if you wanted to see how I did the other stuff and the other details, the entire recording is in the description of this video as an unlisted video. So if you want to waste like an entire day watching that recording, then go for it and see the description. So now let's move on to the hardest section of this mission, the outdoor party games. At first glance, I thought they would be completely impossible. There are literally hundreds of people down there, but I had to start somewhere. I found that a couple people would still fall for the good old coin trick, so I used it to eliminate about 1/3 of the first party. It wasn't easy though, because they wouldn't actually hear it if I threw the coin on the railing. I instead had to throw it on the rock next to the railing, just enter their audio bubble. Which means pretty much all of the coins end up down in the party area, so I have to hope that people can pick them up and bring them back. Then I have used the briefcase trick to keep getting this woman to send guards over to me one at a time. And since my coin trick had eliminated everyone looking in this direction, I can kill each guard unseen. You may notice some people seem to be looking at me, but they are not actually real. That's not me trying to gaslight them. They actually don't exist. I call these ghost NPCs. They can't see, they can't hear, and if they get frightened and run away, they will vanish in thin air as if they never existed. They only exist to make levels look more popular, but you can't do anything to them except kill them since they all have one issue. An easy way to tell the difference is that real NPCs will have an outline of ability instincts and fake ones won't. Also, when you bump into fake NPCs, they kind of just slide around, whereas real NPCs roll over them all. I'll still avoid them as much as possible, but it's inevitable that I'll be close to them at some point. For these outdoor people, I also had to use another trick that I've been trying to avoid using this entire time, the double coin. Basically, once someone hears a coin, and this can be done pretty much easily. It is absolutely broken and would break a lot of the strategy for this run, so I've been trying to avoid using it for as long as possible. But some specific party coins simply break this up. I was supposed to use this double coin bait in order to clear up the first party, the upper drinking area, and the money pile. But strangely enough, in the money pile, there were actually a couple people that wouldn't move at all, and they were all kind of looking at each other. I don't know what they seemed to be
just one team. I don't know why. I have no use. Like, is it why I have no This is before something like this. And it's a good thing that only a few people that have this problem, because I only had two shots. I only had to use the first one to remove this guy. And after throwing up, I'm able to kill him. Then, I can kill this one, and only the fake NPCs will notice, so they don't care. The real wolf is still standing in the crowd, for some reason doesn't care. And with that, only one person left. This wolf, standing alone, unaware that every other person here is dead. I took the shot and killed him. It's finally over. And I'm going to get all of my frustration on this level on all of these kills. Wait, what do you mean so much about you would probably do it right out of this, but everyone in the entire level, this was on the end of the whole thing, the guys came to life and started running around finding different cars. It was absolute pandemonium, and the real challenge had just begun. It was a puzzle in itself to deduce where these bodies would be. I would hide bodies, check to see if the knights had found more, and they always have. Most of them aren't even supposed to move, but when one of them finds a body, the others all go on alert and start wandering around, causing all of them to find more bodies, and I would know about the first body for 2 days. Eventually, I found the main problem with the bodies that were sitting in the helipad and the upstairs apartment, with a few others that would only be seen sometimes. So, with the bodies out of the way, it was time to start killing these guys. But of course, that wasn't easy either. Apparently, these guys are practically invisible. I thought I could just use the explosives that I brought one at a time, but that didn't work. One guy literally came inventory. It was insanity. So I set up maybe if they're invincible, I could just choke them out. But no prompted use. They don't even care about chloroform. They just stand up and keep going about their business. I thought I was going to have to kill all of these guys by making them into environmental kills or giving them a glitch off the map, but for some reason they contain everything I killed. But 2 pistol shots to the head is enough to kill them. That's it. The guys who can survive this can't survive 2 shots to the head. What? At least that simplifies things. There are about 10 of these guys for you now, and they spawn on these 2 spots. Luckily, they still fall to the good old pointer, and they never move unless prompted to, so now that I've figured out how they work, they aren't too much trouble to take care of. I can get them to stand facing away from me with a kill, and after shooting them once in the back of the head, they fall forward. With one more carefully placed shot, I finish them for good. I'll know if they saw me if they turn forward and run into the stage, so I have to be careful. If I miss that second shot, a lot of the times they'll turn around and spawn. While I had mostly figured out how things work, there were still a few areas I was concerned about. For example, this spot has 2 guards spawn on it for some reason. But because of the initial search, they